Hello, this is Vance, and this is Thursday, October the 30th, 2014. This is lesson 2 of 6, Law and Method of Price Action. Before I get started, I had a couple of comments yesterday I have to make about yesterday's video. I said 5 lessons, and then I said 10 lessons, when I really meant 10 minutes. And it really is supposed to be 6 lessons, not 5. So this is lesson 2 of 6 lessons for the slow hand method for price action. So that's the first thing. So what we're going to cover off is this. Channels and SR lines, I did that yesterday. I drew them on there. That's a common factor with the slow hand method for price action. You try to hit the highs and the lows, double bottoms, triple bottoms, etc. That's what we're looking for. I'm going to talk briefly about tight trading ranges and what I define as a tight trading range. And I can tell you it's a range that's between 10 and 30 ticks, generally speaking. We have it's at least a minimum of 3 bars side by side, but it can be larger than that. And it has to be that the price has really hit a high and a low of the outside range at least 2 times. So it could be an area where we have a spike up, come back to a bottom, and another spike up. So that would be what we consider the upper end of the range and the bottom part of the range. I'll show that to you when we go through this on the chart. And I'm going to expand on the second entries. But I'm going to try to rank quality as it develops. Now remember, you can only see whether a second entry finishes and it was successful after the fact. And unfortunately, we don't have that privilege. We have to attempt to rate these second entries as they're developing before they're complete. So I'm going to give a simple method of ranking them, or try to give you a simple method for ranking them. It's not cut and dried. It's not as simple as all that, because as you learn more about trading, as you read more the chart. Let me rephrase that. As you learn more about trading, you gain more experience reading a price chart. You will see that second entries, despite the fact that this model, there are going to be some second entries that I call second entries, don't fit the straight definition of a second entry as we're describing here. A second entry is no more than 2 pullbacks to an area of support and resistance. So it's the market's attempt to do something twice and then doing the opposite. Okay, here's a chart for today. So we have the first thing you come in, you draw this tight trading range, because this is really at 5 o'clock or 5:30. This is overnight. All right, let's talk about the first thing we're going to talk about is lines of support and resistance. And you can see that I've got the lines drawn in here as support and resistance. These 2 lines, like gathering up these bars. One's off the, we don't have this one here yet. There's maybe a short-term trend line here. Now, as far as tight trading ranges are concerned, when you put a support resistance line in, or this is a channel, pardon me, support resistance line against these double bottoms here. What I was talking about, the definition of a tight trading range is going to be where prices revisit the area at least twice, and it's between anywhere from 10 to 30 ticks with at least 3 bars side by side. So when you see this area right here, you see the double bottom here. This could be the developing bottom of a tight trading range. Price migrates up to this area, pulls back, migrates up to here. So this is the upper part of the tight trading range, comes back down here, and then this is the bottom part. So you can consider this part here, or this part here, the bottom of the tight trading range. Let me just get this. So you can say that this is the bottom of the tight trading range right here, from here, and this is the upper top. Okay? So this is how we establish, this is what I say as far as tight trading range is concerned. Now, so keep that in mind, that anytime you see bars side by side, this could be considered a tight trading range right here. You see prices up here migrated. This is almost the developing top, and a bottom here, more than 3 bars side by side. This one right here like this. Here's the bottom of it right here. Another one that's almost be considered a real tight range like this one. So what I'm trying to show you is that there are areas like this. And these are the areas to kind of keep in mind. Hopefully that you'll have that straight. Now, let's go to the second entries. Someone was talking to me about their about whether it failed or didn't fail. And that's something to consider. But let me just mark them off like very quickly, these tight trading, the second entries. Most second entries, and I'm not going to determine, we're going to try to rank them right now. But when you look at when you look at a second entry is the market's attempting to do something twice and then doing the opposite. And you start off with a count. Now the count is every time you can count off both sides, either the low part or the high part. So let's start right here as far as the second entry is concerned. So this is 0 right here. Here's your first entry right here, because this one's lower than this one. This is for a long. And where's your second entry? Second entry is right down here. Okay, here's your second entry. So here's your second entry right here. First entry, because this is lower. Second entry down to here. Okay, so this is a second entry long. Now, if you're going to rank this second entry long, what would you rank it? I've got these three ranks here: A, B, or C. Now, an A rank is one in which is pretty evident. It's a strong bar, like it would be a completely like the bar going in your direction. A very strong, in this case, would be a strong bull bar. It would be relatively not a long throw or not a lot of bars between where the first entry existed and the second entry, because a long decline like this can really negate the effects of that second entry back up here. So that would be a strike against it. And it's in an area of previous support and resistance, or below, right where the previous price action was. So it's got to be a good signal bar, and if you look to the left-hand side of the chart, it would have to be good price action. So using those three criteria, what can we determine? We can determine that this is the second entry. We can see that the throw between here and between the entry is very long. We can see that the bar is not a really strong bull bar, and we have no previous price action. So in that case, the rank of this particular second entry would have to be pretty low. And so I would have to say that this would be a C rank. Now, I'm not going to see it move this in there at this point in time. A C rank for a second entry is one that you would probably never take. Okay, I'm not saying that you'll, probably never take. So I rank it C. I can't move it over here, because if I do that, I'll get rid of these numbers here. So I'll rank them later. So just try to keep that in mind. So now this second entry ultimately looked like it would have worked out, because now we're in a tight trading range. Is there another second entry? Well, price makes a new high here. First, 0. Here's a first entry. We pull back. Here's the second entry right here, because this bar technically is shorter than this one. Okay, so this one's shorter than this one. Is this a good second entry? Well, number one, it's a bear bar, and it's a bear doji. So it's not a really good strong bar to go long on. That's the first thing. Number two is where's the direction? Now, we do have support down here, but where's the most recent price action off of this bar? Well, I would say the most recent price action is down here. That's where the most recent price action is. And whether or not is more greater than your 15 ticks, that's the second thing. The third thing is that that's the previous price action, of course. Where are we? So we've got where's the throw? Well, the throw is not so bad. The disadvantage is that this is all right for the first leg down, okay, for the first entry. The problem is that you had this long bar down here, and it pulls back. So this is a concern, and this is an inside bar. So you have this, and this is overlap. So it's really not another good candidate. So if I would have ranked this one, this second entry, this is also a C. Okay, so now we've got, this is a C. I'll move them over afterwards. I can't move it. And this is a C. Well, actually, I'll move it now. I have to blank these out. So this one here, this is a C. It's a second entry. And so is this one, second entry, a C rank for this throw. Let me just kind of put in the marker again. It's already over 10 minutes. Okay, so I'll just kind of try to keep this. I'm trying to keep them below 10 minutes, but man, this is tough to do. Second entry here, 0, 1, second entry. Okay, so that didn't work. That particular bar doesn't work. That's not a good setup. Let's look back. Seeing as this one didn't work, let's count off of this one. So here's the new high. So we'll call this one the new high. Here's your first entry long. Here's your second entry long. Okay. Now, if you're looking at this one, what's going for it? It's a stronger bar. It's below the price action. Okay. It is also, the throw isn't too bad. I mean, you've got the first, you can even say that here's the first pullback here. Pulled back, first entry. Second pullback down to here. So that's pretty good. We're below the regular price action. This rank would be better. So I would have to say that this one would be a B entry. Okay. Now that, you might take that one. You take Bs. Oh, let me just move that in there. Sorry about that. This is a B second entry. Okay. So I won't put a mark, so you can follow that along. Let's take a look at it from the bottom. This is the low. This is 0, and then we're going to take this from the low now. We can count second entries off of both sides. This is 0 for short. 1, 2. Okay. Now let's examine this one. First of all, is it a strong bar? Well, no, it's not, because this bar is going in the wrong direction. Remember, we want a bear bar. We're at the top of the most recent price action. That's good. The throw is not too bad if we're looking at as far as rejection, but as far as an entry is concerned, you'd have to rank this one probably as a B minus, almost a C, because of the bar isn't in the right direction. One of the overriding factors is that you want to see a strong bar in your direction as far as the second entry is concerned. And this bar isn't. It's actually slightly bullish as opposed to bearish. So that's where your concern is. Now, let's take a look at this one here. So let's assume that we don't take this. Now this becomes the first entry. Would be the second entry right here. Is this a good second entry? Well, no, it's a doji. And as you notice, that we had the same area of this one as this one. So let's rank this one as a B minus. Well, let's call it a C. We call this one as a C on this side standpoint. Because number one, it is really an indecisive bar. It doesn't have a bad throw. We see where the price action is probably somewhere along these lines. It's not above the most immediate price action. So it's below that. And on top of that, it doesn't have a lot of room to get it where your target would be. Okay, and that's the other thing. So this would probably be ranked as a C as well. None of these second entries really are keen for me, except for this one. This is a B second entry. Now you take a B second entry if you haven't had an A. I don't know if you would take that as a first trade of the day, but you would probably look at it as a rank as maybe a trade that is more ranked as a better trade would be one that is in the direction of your trade. For instance, let me just give you something here, a second entry. This isn't the second entry, by the way, as far as the criteria you're using off the 800 tick chart. But let me just show you this one. 0. Here's 1. Pull back. So this is 2 right here. So from this standpoint, this particular entry, I would have to rank this one as a B. Why? Because it's a strong bar. It does have overlap. The throw isn't too bad. The thing is that we also have this resistance up here. So now we have this trend channel coming into play, this downward piece right here. It's not an A-ranked one. It's more of a B-ranked one because of the situation that this particular because of this overlap. Now, after that, so this is the second entry. First entry, here's a second entry. This is 0. First entry, second entry down here. Not a very good second entry, but 0. First entry, second entry. This one is much better. So I would have to rank this one probably as a B. Why? You do have a bar moving in your direction, even though it's a shorter bar. The throw is not too bad. You have some room, maybe not to get out to the bottom because of this, but we also have the establishment of that we have this long length right here. And it looks like that we may test this bottom and continue on like this. And so that's would be a higher rank second entry. Remember, nothing in trading is cut and dried. All this stuff is, you have to, nothing is definite in trading. It's all about potential trades. And that's what I'm trying to do. And that's a very difficult thing. I'm trying to show you potential trades on second entries and give you a ranking system of something that is really ephemeral. It really can't be ranked specifically like that. So if it's one tick off or 2 ticks off, it really isn't about that. It's about how the bars form and where they close and anticipating where that movement's going to be based on experience. I hope that makes a lot of sense. So let me just clear this off again. And let's put the second entry here. This is a B second entry, short. This is a B second entry, short. I mean, there are lots of second entries. See 0, 1 second entry short right here. I would say that was a B versus an A. I want to see it with trend. This is pretty tight, but this isn't the second entry. You have, let's see if we can find a second entry long. You can't really see that one. Well, here's a second entry long right down here. Here's a first, this is a new high. Here's your first entry. Here's a second entry long down here. Oh, pardon me. This is the first entry, second entry long. This is a second entry long right here. Price, this is the new high from this bar, 0. This is 1. This is the second entry long down here. Both of these are within the channel. It's below the most recent price action, but here's you can see where the tight trading range is. There is room to get out, but you would rank something like this as probably a B, but we haven't broken this channel yet. You probably want to see the break of this channel before you go higher. But as you can see, once it broke this channel, it just moved up higher than that. This isn't the second entry. It's almost a second entry because you see a price comes down here, fails, pulls up above this, and then pulls back down here and lands up here. So this is almost like this is kind of like a second entry, but more along the lines of 2 failures back to the EMA. So here's your first failure back. Here's your second failure back. And then, so that's not a pure second entry of what we're describing here. So you can see these second entries all along. But let's focus on these ones. Try to study this. Try to look at your second entries from that standpoint. Any questions, please let me know. Bye for now.